Welcome to this week's virtual world of stories and crafts here at the Huntington Public Library. We will listen to some stories before making our crafts. We will make a graceful swan, fun mermaid figures, and a beautiful woven heart basket. Last week we had traveled to Ghana in Africa, and now we will move on to the cooler climate of Northern Europe to Denmark. Our first story was originally written by the famous author Hans Christian Andersen. The Ugly Duckling by Sebastian Brown, based on the story by Hans Christian Andersen. Once upon a time, Mother Duck sat gently on her eggs, waiting for them to hatch. She had 3 small eggs in her nest. She left them just for a moment to take a drink from the river, but first she counted them. 1, 2, 3. While she was away, something very strange happened. A large egg came bobbing along the river and landed plop in Mother Duck's nest. When she returned, Mother Duck counted her eggs again. 1, 2, 3, 4. How did that 4th egg get there? She wondered. The new egg was much bigger than the other 3. No matter, thought Mother Duck. I shall look after it and love it as though it were my own. And she nestled herself back into her nest and kept the eggs warm and snug. Soon 3 of the eggs hatched. With a crack and a quack, 3 little ducklings tumbled out of their shells. Then the 4th egg hatched. But oh, how large and strange this baby was! Not at all like the other ducklings. It looked at Mother Duck and said, "Honk, honk." "No matter," said Mother Duck. "I shall love this one just the same." The next day, Mother Duck and her ducklings met an old turkey walking along the riverbank next to the farm. "How strange one of your ducklings looks," gobbled the old turkey. "It's ugly," said the 3 ducklings unkindly, and they peeped with delight. "Honk, honk," said the ugly duckling sadly. But Mother Duck said, "No matter, little one, I love you just the same," and they went on their way. A little while later, the duck family met 2 rude ducks who were quarreling in the barnyard. They stopped and stared when they saw the ugly duckling. "What an ugly duckling," said one. "Surely that cannot be a duck," said the other. "Leave him alone," said Mother Duck. "I am sure he will grow up to be a fine duck." "Honk, honk," said the ugly duckling. "What is that awful noise?" quacked one duck. "It's not natural," quacked the other. "Come along," said Mother Duck to her ducklings, and she led them away from those rude ducks. The ugly duckling began to cry. "Don't cry, little one," said Mother Duck. "I love you just the same." Then the ugly duckling came upon 2 hens pecking at seeds on the riverbank. When they looked up and saw him, they clucked and squawked and clucked again. The ugly duckling became frightened and ran away through a tall hedge full of small birds. "Come back," called Mother Duck, but the ugly duckling could not hear her. The small birds nesting in the hedge took flight. "That is because I'm so ugly," thought the ugly duckling, and on he ran until he was all alone. "I shall hide from the world," he honked. Soon the days grew shorter, the wind grew colder, and winter came. The ugly duckling was on his own, and he had grown up. Time passed and the days grew longer, the winds blew warmer, and soon spring arrived. The ugly duckling hid himself in the tall green reeds beside a stream. "No one wants me," he thought, and he began to cry. "Honk, honk, honk." Just then a flock of beautiful swans passed overhead and heard his sad little honks. A black swan flew down beside him. "Come and join us," honked the swan. "You want me to join you?" asked the ugly duckling. "Of course," honked the swan. "But I'm an ugly duckling. No one wants to be with me," said the ugly duckling. "You're a swan," honked the swan, "a beautiful swan." "Me? A swan?" honked the ugly duckling. "Take a look at yourself in the stream and you'll see. You're a swan, just like me," honked his new friend. The ugly duckling looked into the stream, and sure enough, there looking back was a beautiful swan. The ugly duckling spread his wings and honked for all the world to hear. "I am not an ugly duckling," he honked. "I'm a beautiful swan." "You don't quack like a duck. "And you don't waddle," said the black swan. "You glide and honk, just like me and all the other swans." Then the two beautiful swans took to the air to join the flock, and they all lived happily ever after. Hans Christian Andersen also wrote The Little Mermaid. And in the capital of Denmark, in Copenhagen, there's a statue of the Little Mermaid looking out into the ocean. We will, however, read a different mermaid story. It's a story about a girl who wished for a sister. Mermaid Sister by Mary Ann Fraser. My brother Gordy is a pain in the patootie. What I really want is a sister. I have a plan. I throw the bottle into the ocean and wait. In no time at all, my plan works. "My name is Shelley," I say. "Would you like to be my sister?" "Of course, that means Gordy would be your brother too." "My name is Coral," she says. "I've always wanted a sister, and Gordy can't be worse than my little brother Sandy. Sandy is a pain in the flipper." With the next big wave, I take her to meet my family. "This isn't like keeping a pet fish," says my father. "Would I have to make tuna casserole every night?" asks my mother. "She smells," says my brother. But when everyone sees how determined we are, they agree to give it a try. I want Carl to feel welcome, so I let her watch her favorite shows. I also make her peanut butter and jellyfish sandwiches. She especially likes to put salt and seaweed in the tub and sing whale songs. Soon she's settled in, very settled in. You can tell we are sisters because we are so much alike. We both like to dance. I do hip-hop. She does flip-flop. We both read the newspaper. I read the comics. She reads the tide charts. And we both agree Gordy is a pain in the patootie. It's great having a sister. I can do things with her I can't do with a little brother. But guess what? My mermaid sister can be a pain in the patootie too. She leaves scales on my favorite blouse and keeps a tuna can collection in my closet. And she plays with Gordy. That was not part of the plan. We have our first sister fight. It gets a little rough and then a little quiet. Then we make up. I think something is still bothering Coral. I have a plan. A day at the beach to cheer her up. My plan works and we're all having a great time until Coral wants to go home. I know I'm going to miss my mermaid sister, but guess what? She had a plan too. Inspired by the story of the ugly duckling, we will make a beautiful swan out of a paper plate. First, we'll make a cut into the paper plate all the way to where the ribbed rim of the plate begins. Then we cut along the inner rim on the upper part of the plate. Hold onto the cutout part because we will use it later for the wings. Next, we will use the orange paper from your kit, cut out a triangle, and the triangle we will use as the beak for the swan. In your kit you will also find a googly eye that we will use for the eye of the swan. Now we take the cutout piece, cut into the rounded side to make it look like a wing. Now we glue the wing to the body of the swan, and the swan is all done. Now it's time to make our mermaid, or you can also make a merboy. In your kit you will find the template for the fin. The first step is to cut out our template. Next we use the template to trace the fin on the craft foam you will find in your kit. Once the fin is cut out, we can attach it to the bottom of the wooden spoon. If you like the fishtail to be a little longer, you can attach another piece of craft foam to the fin. You'll find different pieces of felt in your kit. You can choose to make a top for your mermaid. Next, we will glue on the googly eyes. And draw on a smiley mouth. Now we will add some hair to the mermaid. You'll find different colored wool in your kit, so you can choose which color hair you want to give your mermaid. In your kit you will find sequins you can glue onto the fishtail to add some sparkle to the mermaid. To make our Scandinavian heart basket, you will need the white and red template in our kit. Cut out one of the ovals in each color. Each sheet has 2 ovals, but you only need 1 red and 1 white one. Fold each oval in half so that the rounded edges meet. Make sure that the lines are visible. Fold a folded piece of paper and cut on each of the 3 lines. Repeat this step with the red paper. Now we can begin the weaving. Hold a folded white piece of paper in your left hand and the red one in your right hand. Weave the first loop of the red piece inside the first loop of the white piece. Weave it over the second loop of the white piece and inside the third white loop and over the fourth. For the second row, weave the second loop of red paper over the first loop of white paper. Weave it inside the second white loop, over the third, and inside the fourth. Continue weaving for the third and fourth row. Now the heart basket is finished. I hope you enjoyed this week's stories and craft.